Mr. Levy, what are you bringing to the table with these meetings down here?
What we're bringing is what we believe is a change, like one person at a time in Canadian society, to maintain the kind of values that Canada in the last 2 or 3 decades has been able to accomplish. We see as we go along that the whole concept of human rights is on a very marginal kind of thin edge. You have to always make sure that you're teaching, you're educating in order to be able to continue to maintain those values.
You've been doing this for a while. What sort of feedback do you get? How effective? Surely some young people who've been through this are now adults and out in the world?
Yes. We track some of them, and what's really fascinating is so many schools now across Canada have what we call human rights clubs that have been taking over the challenges, world challenges of Darfur or the homeless. It's fascinating to see how so many of these kids go back and in very short order are speaking at other schools that have not participated in the program. And young adults right now, in fact, one of our spokespersons for the Canadian Museum for Human Rights was one of the first graduates from this program.
I noticed you talked about the Museum for Human Rights.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of it. Tell me a little about it.
What we are hoping to establish is really the world's largest human rights, if not the only human rights museum of its kind. Essentially, the subject of human rights is a difficult topic. No one wants to look at themselves in the mirror and say, we did this to humanity, or we did this to our population, to our minority groups, or whatever. Here we are telling the stories as they are, warts and all.
What would be in a human rights museum? Is it something like the Holocaust Museum here in Washington?
Not really. It's an educational experience. It's it's an odyssey. It's where you're going through this journey to find out why is it that humanity hates? What transpires, going from that sort of whole evolution of what creates, the good guys and the heroes, and what creates, the bad guys, of course, putting it in simplistic terms. However, what we want to show are the Canadian stories primarily, the Chinese head tax, the Aboriginal stories, the residential schools, the internment of the Japanese, but not from a perspective of you're going to come out, you want to slit your wrists. This is about learning about history and finding out what's going on in the world today, but also saying what can you do as an individual, what can you do to take responsibility to change, and how one person, as we've seen in history, can make those changes.
What's the purpose of bringing these young people down to Washington?
The purpose is really quite simple, is that we looked into Canada to see where we could take kids for this kind of experience. The experience where almost every monument in Washington is dedicated to freedom and democracy. The Lincoln Memorials and the Jeffersons and everything here, all of Washington screams freedom and democracy. And whether it's the Pentagon or the entire military establishment, it's all about, bottom line, freedom and democracy. And I'm not trying to obviously sound like, George Bush here, but it's like we do see an example here that you don't see anywhere.
Now, you're up to 800 kids this year. Is it going to get bigger?
We're finding that sort of peaking in terms of our ability to manage it. Someone called me really brave this morning, saying that you're brave to do this, and I think we are. There's a huge logistical issues involved, and what we're finding that even today, for example, we have to split the group today and tomorrow, because when I first came here, we were 70 kids in this room, and there was no problem. So,
and what do they say to you after it's over with? Do any of them come and thank you for it?
Well, yes. I mean, the cards and letters we literally have to create a library just for that in the last, because we've taken 5,500 kids, and I'll bet you we probably have 5,500 letters. Right now, in order to manage it, this is why we've created an electronic sort of forum for all of it, because it was just becoming almost impossible to manage right now.
And you've had 5,500 kids since the program started then?
Right, yes, yeah.